So in the Self-Reg handbook, there is the Windows model. And the Windows model is something that is so full of information and has so many wonderful ideas to support schools particularly, but other organizations as well, to really reach out once you've got things working within your haven, whatever your haven is, as a way to reach out beyond there. So if we're thinking in terms of a self-reg school, how do we bring others to self-reg? How do we have others have input and be able to help with um, making everyone involved in our self-reg haven? So there's much to learn reading through this, and we're going to just spend a short period of time chatting about it, because I'm putting it out there that if you haven't had an opportunity to look at it, to spend some time with it, that when I first started looking at it, I realized, like, wow, like this handbook can really help you if you're a school leader starting out, or whether you've been in the business for a long time, to really help with some of those things that have frustrated us for a long time. Things like when you have a parents' night and parents don't come, or you send out communication and people don't seem to read it. These four pane windows can really help you to understand what it is that we need to do in order to open up and be that self-reg haven where people feel safe and feel included and they want to be part of what's going on. So the first W, we're not going to go through all of the boxes, but the idea that people out there get a lot of advice from a lot of people, and they don't necessarily want you to be from the school giving them advice, but there's lots of other ways of being able to include people. To give you an example, from within our system, during the pandemic and while students were at home, we had talked about continuing some of our self-reg work with families. And I was pretty convinced that um, really parents were just done. They didn't want more. They didn't have time to deal with things that we were going to be offering. And I couldn't have been less right. I was quite wrong, actually, that there were parents out there who did want our support. And when we reached out and we actually listened, we found that they had great ideas as to what it was they wanted from us with regard to self-reg and how they would be best able to access that. So for the I, there's all kinds of important items on here, but I think the most important thing is the one in the bottom right, that you have to walk your talk in all relationships. You can't be just a self-reg principal or a self-reg teacher or a self-reg EA when things are going well. You have to be able to be the self-reg whoever when you're in those really tough times. That you recognize your own self-reg, that you work hard to uh, develop your own well-being through the practice of self-reg, and that you are able to offer those soft eyes to everybody, no matter how difficult the situation becomes. The N for this framework, there are lots of uh, cognitive blinders that are out there, and those are often developed as the result of that's the way we've always done something. And this is where, when you combine it with the focus on listening to others, it will really help to develop the community that you are serving. The D, that some days we just need a fresh start. And when we can talk in self-reg terms, we can talk about when things go badly and what has happened and why it's happened. And we can ask that question of why and why now of a situation. Why did that happen? Why did it happen now? And then to be able to reframe the behavior of everybody within the situation. And it takes away some of that anger and the hostility that can happen when things go badly in a system. For this one, I like the idea that you end your oh so human side of relationship building in whatever role that you're in. Sorry, you own your own end of the oh so human side of the relationship building, because we are all humans. We're not perfect. The thing is, when we have arrived, and we feel we've arrived, which we will never truly arrive at being in a self-reg haven, we're never to a point where we're never going to have one of those days where we say, wow, 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 I showed my humanness today. And being able to rebuild relationships when they go awry, and to be human and to offer those kindnesses to others and to ourselves through self-reg is so important. And then another W, and I love the word wobble. It's related back to that we're all human. We are going to go back to, because that's the way we've always done it. And we're going to have those moments that aren't the best. But if we're able to recover from those by being honest and being respectful, it is evidence that we will take risks and that we will make mistakes and that we will learn on the way. And for those of you that are leaders, we know that demonstrating your own willingness to take risks and to fail is one of the best ways to have those people who are in your care or under your direction to be willing to take risks, willing to make mistakes, and to learn along the way. And I think the best example for me of that was I was always a person who I didn't want to make a mistake in front of my staff. I didn't want to have a failure in technology, particularly because I've always been known as somebody who could manage technology. And it was something that I really had to work hard on, because I would suddenly find myself getting really stressed out if something was happening. And if the technology wasn't working, or the Wi-Fi wasn't working, or the speakers weren't working, and now doing lots of presentations, that sometimes happens. And what I realized was that in my response to whatever was happening, I was modeling self-reg. I was modeling the calm that can come when you recognize that you can manage the stressors, that you can take a breath, you can recognize that what's going on and talk to your audience or talk to your staff or talk to whoever it is. And they recognize that, wow, this person's human too. And self-reg has really helped to develop that. There's so much within these that we've just gone through. We could do an entire course on the window model. It's an amazing resource, and I urge you to spend time with it and really dig into it. And certainly if if this is something that really interests you, taking the self-reg leadership course is an excellent way to get in and really dig deep with this with colleagues that are also interested in self-reg and bringing it to their schools or their environments.